Hitting with the
Engage.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Winners Don't Use Drugs, presented by Engage Gaming, episode 49, and crystal clear audio.
What? Why would you?
Because somebody would normally say that, and they're not here, so I felt like I needed to,
We just don't acknowledge that person.
He got you, my boy. I'm sorry. If you notice, there is a change in hues.
Steven got a lot darker.
Yeah.
No, but Nolan's, he was a friend of the show previously.
He's been on what? How many times have you been on?
3 or 4.
Yeah. The most consistent guest. So.
Yeah.
He's our onlyest guest.
No, we've had the young whiskey.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
you had him.
Could have swore we had somebody else, but
I wasn't here, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it was somebody else.
yeah, I think we had Larry on one of the episodes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, when you were gone, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's when Whiskey was here too, and I was gone.
People filling in, doing their thing.
Trying to. Can't fill my shoes.
This is true.
Makes it look even worse. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. So
Yeah, we had to. The way the schedule works out, Steven just can't make it, but he'll be here whenever he can be.
so we're not getting rid of him. Trust me. Start a show.
We tried, and he just won't go away.
Lee's got to cut through.
Our president and all.
Yeah. That's the whole thing, is that you can't continue to do something without the acting president.
Yeah.
As preposterous as that may seem to some people. So
Nolan.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Inside joke, I guess. Yeah.
no, they know. We talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a deep cut, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have to find it on one random episode.
That's one of those things where my brother will bring it up like randomly. We'll be talking and he'll be like, "Hey man, remember when we was eating and Steve said he was the president?" He was like, "Man, Nolan was dying laughing at him." But yeah, we're back, man. We're gonna try to be way more consistent, back to how we were, having fun with it, doing more things and trying to improve it as we go along. The space, look at this new, it's the same, but it's new.
Yeah.
We've done some renovations. We got
Nice in here.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. We worked really hard. You know what? That's a really good way to frame it. It is very cozy, in like a cool way. If I'm not being clear. What? But there's been a lot of gaming stuff, So let's.
Yeah, we've missed a lot.
Yes, we have. A lot of things have changed.
The only reason I advocated for starting this back up is so we can do the Larry Awards at the end of the year.
Oh,
That's my favorite part.
Yes. Forgot about the Larrys.
But that'll come in time.
Yeah, good things come to those who wait. Okay. In the meantime and in between time, we can talk about the fact that like Sony's really getting upset at Microsoft for trying to like acquire major studios. I know, but it's a thing that's going on.
Sony is living in their own little world.
It's full of hate and like stubbornness. It's 90% stubbornness and like trying to
really is, yeah.
Like nose in the air. We don't have to do what anybody else does. We're that good.
And it's not even we're telling them that or asking them to do everything that Microsoft is doing, because Microsoft isn't perfect. They've made a lot of mistakes.
And like Nintendo doesn't do any of those things that either of those two do, and we
but
don't.
They make it work.
Yeah, like they do what they do.
They just don't care.
But Sony acts like it wants to compete, and then we're like, okay, well, if you want to compete, here's what they're doing. Can you do a version of that? And they go, why would we ever do that? There's no reason for us to do any of that. But also, you shouldn't support whatever they're doing. I think that's the weirdest thing to me, is them like actively saying like you shouldn't do business with them.
It's funny because in the last couple of weeks we got news that they're getting sued because they were trying to go behind Microsoft's back and like sabotage their Game Pass deals.
Yeah, basically telling developers in some form or fashion that if you do Game Pass, then you either can't sell it on the PlayStation Store or it can't be a part of like whatever promotional programs they do for indie developers, instead of just being like, hey man, good luck over there, but put it on our platform because it's a smart idea for you to do it.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It's dumb, because it'd be one thing that like if Sony was always like, you know what, Microsoft does that stuff over there, and that's fine. Here's how we do things, and we're happy doing it that way. I'm 100% for that. I think that, like we said with Nintendo, that's what Nintendo does. We're just going to do what we're going to do. You can buy it or not. We don't care what Microsoft or Sony does. We like some of their characters. We'll put them in Smash, but like, we're Nintendo. But Sony says, like they act like they don't care, but then they're like, we also do have a streaming service for games as well. You might not want to pay for it, and you can't download things. You can only stream it. But we also got a thing too, and it's more expensive, and we will never debut first-party titles on the service. But pay for it. It is there. Yeah. It just feels very party chattish all over again. We went through that thing with them acting like party chat wasn't important, and then denying that they couldn't do party chat, then admitting later that they couldn't do it, but now we got it now, so none of that should matter that we didn't have it before.
So you remember when the PS3 came out, they acted like nobody wanted their pass to shake anymore. That was last gen stuff. You don't want that, and everybody's like, yeah, I kind of do.
Talking about the rumble feature?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
The original.
Yeah, the 6-axis.
Well, it's because you don't need the rumble feature.
We got the gyros.
Yeah. When in actuality, what that was that they were.
You can play layer just by moving your controller.
It'd be so much better if I could just control the dragon with the analog stick. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool, though.
Actuality, they were just trying to avoid fees paid out to a company who sued Nintendo and Sony, I think, and won. Mm-hmm. And it was like, hey, we actually came up with the technology to make controllers shake first, and Microsoft and Nintendo were just like, okay, fine. They didn't fight it. Sony tried to fight it. They lost. So they were just like, well, fine. We're just going to take it out.
Or Sony will not accept defeat at any, no.
They never lose.
And so they do. So then all of a sudden, shaking controllers, that's last gen stuff. Nobody wants that anymore.
Don't you want to move your controller in a 6-axis function?
No.
You can fly a dragon doing it.
Layer was horrible.
Wait a minute. Wait a second now. Hold on. Let's
Layer wasn't horrible. The control scheme was horrible.
The control scheme that the developers actively fought to not have in the game. They were like, hey, our customers kind of like just using the analog stick to fly things. And Sony was like, put the 6-axis in there or do not release the game. And then put a patch in a year and a half later, was like, okay, you can use the stick now.
Okay, well, I still have kind of a personal thing against that game.
Well, all right, talk about it.
One, it was horrible. And two,
it's only horrible because of 6-axis.
That game should have been Rogue Squadron 4.
Yes,
yeah, I knew it had something to do with Star Wars.
Yeah, there we go.
And
we lost Steven, but somehow we still got Jedi code going on.
Think about that. Factor 5 had a choice. Factor 5 had a choice.
They never had a choice, Nolan.
And they were like,
they didn't want to become the Star Wars guys.
Do we stick with this Wii thing and make a new Star Wars game, or do we go over to PS3? Because that's Sony. We watching the
two
PlayStation
cores,
2 just
two cores,
and
some vitamins.
You could run protein strings with the PlayStation 3. So
I just wonder if they just sit up in the morning and go, we should have chose the Wii.
No, I think they would have still ended up being shovelware on the Wii.
But I'd have had a Rogue Squadron 4.
Oh, so that's what it's about.
It's just personal.
It's a personal thing.
That game would have been a hit, first of all.
I don't know. Star Wars is on the downslope around that time with the outcry of Jar Jar Binks and.
Okay, but still, I would have had it. So.
We just want you to put the real reason on the surface. You wanted a Rogue Squadron 4.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. No, Rogue Squadron is a legendary game to me because I remember seeing that and being like, "Hey, man, this looks like the movie, but on my screen."
Oh, the GameCube game, especially.
Yeah. I was like,
it was an awesome version of Star Fox.
We're gonna reduce anything in a spaceship to Star Fox.
Yeah,
they ain't even got real feet. You know what? We're gonna talk about Star Fox. Let's bring it all to the surface. They out here mutilating animals to make them fly ships. Okay, you gotta take their feet out. Everybody got metal feet.
Well, they have feet in Assault, right?
They're all paraplegic.
Yeah.
No, they got robot feet. Like the dude on Grandma's Boys. They went through with it. He just said it.
Well, they're in ships. They don't need feet until Assault, which showed everybody that we really don't.
You like the Land Cruisers, right?
Land Cruisers.
I'm surprised we haven't had a Star Fox game in like the last 10 years.
No, we had one.
No, it's a 3DS. It don't count.
No, don't count. On the Wii U.
Nah. Oh yeah, they did do that one. I was thinking about the Switch. They had that one weird game that was not a Star Fox game, but they jammed
Starlink.
Yeah, they jammed Star Fox into.
Starlink, yeah. Well, Starlink was a Wii game, was it?
No, it was a Switch.
No, it was Wii U Switch. I think it was the end of Wii U era. Like it was like the last year of Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically uses the amiibos.
Yeah,
but not amiibos.
Because amiibo technology was around in the Wii U, right?
It started with the them
thing.
Yeah.
Good times. Anyway, a lot of stuff in gaming happened. Grand Theft Auto 6 leakage
Over this last weekend, yeah.
Yeah, like literally just happened.
We're gonna go through some of the footage. We're not gonna go through a lot because it's leakage, and
Well, it's more about the fact that like somehow people are upset at what the leak looks like, but it's pre-alpha. Like, you know, none of these things may even look anything remotely to what we're seeing. But personally, I felt like the footage.
Plus, you have all the development code still.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, do folks think this is what it's going to look like?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, the outcry is insane.
I think it looks pretty good.
For
early footage.
For a Grand Theft Auto, the interacting, like just the fact that you can do stuff like interact with the gumball machine, all those like little Rockstar things that they do, right?
God, this thing is 52 minutes.
Let's skip to the
52 minutes.
We're
See, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this. So.
Yeah.
Debug pause. All right, hold on.
Yeah, see if we can go to where like they did the diner or whatever they were in.
Like I said, I've hardly seen any of this footage. But we did find out what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde type story.
Word is it's in Vice City. I think
we knew that a while ago, right?
Did they officially say it?
I thought they.
I don't think they've officially said anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just.
They're
I mean,
it's not going to for another year or two.
Yeah, like this is most of the leak that people have been seeing.
Yeah, like all the textures aren't there. You can tell.
Yeah, they look like action figures.
And people are like, "Oh, we waited 10 years for this." Like,
what are you?
It's not finished.
It's not even in alpha state.
No. Which is like, do you just want to react to things, or do you not? Like every time I see games being made, I go, okay, yeah, I definitely don't know I definitely don't have what it takes to make a game of this magnitude. This is why they have like hundreds and hundreds of people working on one aspect of a game.
I think, is this going to be the first time there's going to be a female lead?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The whole Bonnie and Clyde thing, I know it's glorified beyond what it actually was back in the day, but I always liked that kind of aspect. Like the opening scene to, is it Pulp Fiction?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like that whole thing, I think it's really cool.
You can get some
really
good
cool dynamic to the game and storytelling.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because these characters will act out of emotion, just because of the relationship that they have.
And you know somebody's gonna turn on the other person. Like it's a Grand Theft Auto game. So like
I don't know if the couple will. Maybe some outside influence.
Oh yeah. So I'm saying like there's gonna
They'll
be
have
some
to make like an emotional decision.
There's gonna be some moment where it's like the walls are closing in on them because of somebody else. And if they do it in Vice City, there's a chance that you get callbacks to characters from Vice City, which is always kind of like, I won't say it's like for the Grand Theft Auto purists, but it's always like, hey, thank you for playing this game for like 15 years and not just running around blowing up cars and trucks and stuff. You know, the missions and stuff were cool and they were there.
Like the cover system right there we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the movement alone
has been like one of the only weak points that you could ever say about Grand Theft Auto games. It's always been like the first 3D Grand Theft Autos, the gunplay was terrible. And then when they got the Max Payne franchise, they basically just took Max Payne's gunplay and put it in GTA without the bullet time.
Yeah.
So it helped out like a lot.
Yeah, it was better in 4, but it wasn't actually, to me, it wasn't somewhat good until 5.
Exactly. So if we're getting like a more focus on that, like those are some of the smaller aspects of GTA that they just hadn't really like polished as much as like the visuals and even like driving's gotten so much better over the games.
Oh,
the gunfight movement looks a lot better. Like
Yes.
just them going into cover and out of cover.
And if they get the police to be like more, not just shoot at you straight or like try tactics, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, like they opened the door and tried to use the door as cover.
Yeah.
And then when she exposed the cover, she moved.
Like a lot of times, even when they like visually do it in GTA 5, they'll like open the door and then stand in front of the door, like just standing up. It's like,
I don't know if there's a whole. Like I said, I haven't seen a whole lot of this stuff.
There's no. I mean, again, it's all.
It doesn't even look like stuff that you would want to see here. Like, who cares? Like, you could obviously tell. Like, people that are getting upset about this need to just.
I think they're looking for reactions.
They don't understand like game development, I guess.
Not at all.
This is a leak of an unfinished game, but I guess in their head they're thinking, "This is it. This is what I'm playing tomorrow." No.
In a game that doesn't have a release date.
No, this isn't.
It doesn't even have the top part of her pistol. Like, it's obviously not finished.
Well, it's because you can in the full game you'll be able to customize it. So if you want the top piece missing,
just take.
You just have it missing.
Because it's not necessary at all for the gun to fire.
No, it's more of a visual thing. Like guns work because you want them to fire, not because of like parts and stuff. Oh yeah, they were talking about this the club scene with the dancers. Like, oh, the women look crazy and stuff, and it's like, I mean, they look like action figures.
Yeah, they do. They have like the cut out like you look at where her knees are. It's obviously not.
I don't like people's knees anyway, so that's the thing.
I mean, you got the guy standing on a chair back there. Obviously,
he was gonna sit in it, but some things.
He decided that standing was much better.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't got nowhere to talk. Star Citizen and all that.
They still do that in Star Citizen.
They still do. That's right. For a while, they stopped standing in the chairs, but they were floating in midair. So that was kind of
You're hovering above the chair. You don't ever hover. Sometimes when I get I'm long day of sitting, I just decide I just want to hover.
Yeah.
Like, look at that.
Wow. I mean,
that's a lot. I mean, that detail is that really needed? Like they're putting a ton of detail into this.
Yeah, and that's what they always do.
Yeah.
But
stuff that's not even needed.
Like if a shorter character gets in the car and actually adjusts stuff.
Come on, man. Like why would you be mad at that?
No, I think it's gonna be good. I think we're probably still a couple years off. I don't know. Based on the footage, I think we're a couple years off. I think this is gonna be like early 2024.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we saw, let's say at the Game Awards, we see an announcement. Like I would think the next E3 Summer of Games, we may see something
like this year.
Yeah, like Game Awards this year. I would be shocked if they said Grand Theft Auto.
I'm about to say seeing this now. If this was like a relatively recent build, I don't
know. This is Rockstar even said this stuff is as old as 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're probably much further along.
Yeah. Apparently it got stolen from somebody's. Yeah, it got stolen from someone's Slack logs. Like they was chatting through Slack, and they were like sending each other clips of it, and the person basically just pulled this and combined it into one long video.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. So this could be like super old footage.
Yeah. That's what Rockstar said it was like.
Oh, so this is something that might even come out next year.
I would be surprised just because Rockstar hasn't even like
made an official announcement.
Yeah.
Well, Rockstar ain't, you talking about a company that don't care what everybody else does. They're not going to say anything until they're ready.
Yeah.
They don't never go to any of the big shows or nothing like that. They'll be like, it'll just be one day, hey, there's a new game's coming out in about 3-6 months. See ya.
Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if at the Game Awards they said, Grand Theft Auto 6. But if the next Summer of Games or E3, like 2023, if they did their announced trailer there or around that time to be like, hey, everybody's talking about games, well, our game is, it's better.
They generally release in March, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, Rockstar was the original March release company. Everybody else would release it whenever they did, and it'd be like, if Rockstar has anything coming out, March.
Well, that's cool. Well, that's not the only thing we're going to talk about today. Oh, water looks nice. Well, not until you're under it.
Surface.
Like I was alluding to, this isn't the only thing we're going to talk about today. We have a couple things on the docket. Was it last week these both got released? Tekken 8 and
Tekken, yeah.
it was last week, right?
Yep.
Tekken
Yes.
8 and Street Fighter 6 got a lot more footage. This would be the first time we see gameplay for Tekken 8.
Yeah.
I think the footage that we got for Street Fighter 6 showed a more complete game, and that I think the rumors are true that we are going to probably get it February, March of next year sometime.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like they're at least trying to get an early 2023 release with all the stuff they've shown.
I mean, the game looks in a very good state.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use this beta coming up in a couple weeks. Like, is it March or not March?
October.
October is when the
3
beta
weeks
is.
from last Friday.
Of course, you know that.
Of course I do. I'm counting the days.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man. Look, I
think the beta is just going to be an online test. Make sure they can release it.
So actually, it's the online test, but almost every mode is in there too.
really.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It's just the game with 8 players or 8 characters.
8 characters. Yeah.
So will you be? Well, you might not know this. Nobody.
Well,
might.
let's hold off. Let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
over Tekken real quick because
We'll get
there's
to
not a whole lot of Tekken. This is actually the
Yeah.
first gameplay that we're seeing of Tekken. I'm gonna not speed this up. Oh, it's on normal anyways. We can half it though, so we can talk about it while it's playing.
Get a little more out of it.
We can pause it if we need to.
Yeah.
So this is first gameplay of Tekken 8.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, it's supposed to be from like the story mode.
Yeah.
So you're going to see a lot of cutscenes like spliced in with the gameplay, and it's supposed to be what you're going to get in story mode.
Yeah. This is.
Really?
I mean, this is how the last game was.
Oh wait, so you'll be
Seven
fighting?
story mode did this where it would do like a in-engine cutscene, pretty much like this, where they're fighting and everything. Then all of a sudden the camera will pull out and you would start right where the scene ended. So this is pretty similar to what they've already done before.
Okay. Yeah, I missed out on
And
90%
the reason
of Tekken 7.
and the reason I know this is in-engine because if you look at their delts, the rainwater pouring down their faces and necks is pouring sideways on the shoulders. It's kind of weird.
Well, that and you'll see clipping.
Why is it dripping sideways? That's weird. So obviously that's what makes me know this isn't a pre-rendered scene because somebody would have fixed that.
Yeah. Well, then you'll see clipping here and there,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, I'm sure this is like enhanced, but and with cuts and everything, obviously.
I mean, when he gets ready to punch and his muscles like pop out.
Yeah.
No, I do that all the time. I pop muscles.
I mean,
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
It's like you pull back and you just,
You give what you have to do is you have to use your key.
and for some reason your bicep flexes even though you're using more of your forearms and triceps, but
That's because it's storing power. That's what biceps do. They store the power. Simple anatomy.
like this looks so much better than 7.
you see the sideways dripping on the traps there. It's
Yeah.
The belts, it's kind of weird. I don't. And Jin just gets walloped. Now, usually in scenes like this, like the first time showing something is usually like supposed to be like indicating what you can expect in the game. So you know how Tekken 7 had the like if you were near like the last hit and you both started swinging at the same time and they go in slow motion to see who hit.
Yep.
And it's like this is obviously showing it like in fight. So you think we're expecting more like in fight slowdowns and zoom ins and
Like
stuff
a clash,
like that?
almost like a clash feature.
Kind of, yeah.
I think in the story mode it'd be cool, but I honestly think like in the actual versus mode, unless you can turn it off, it would be stupid.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because like imagine like watching like I don't know. I just feel like there would be some sort of like issue with it in competition.
I remember a lot of folks didn't like it in 7 when they first saw it. It's like, well, it's the last hit, but sometimes it misses, and that's even funnier.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we thought it was gonna hit you, but it didn't. So whoopsie.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be implemented as some sort of clash feature too, though.
Yeah. Like there's a bunch of different ways they can do it. I just hope that like because what I felt like Tekken and what Namco Bandai's done with their 3D fighters over the past couple iterations is like You know, the one thing that we were kind of missing, dramatic, elaborate, like cutscene style moves. So they added like the supers and stuff, which are cool, right? But you know, if you go too heavy on that, then like you lose what makes Tekken Tekken. If it all becomes like all of these dramatic zoom in punches and kicks, like I want fast pace, you know, hand to hand combat. If it doesn't interrupt the flow of that, then I think it'll be fine.
No, I don't think you see this in the versus mode. I think this is more for the story.
Well, I'm talking about like more like earlier, like when he went to go do that hop kick when Jin went low. Mm-hmm. And it's just like in 7 that only does that at the end of the fights, but I'm wondering if they're going to insert it more in the middle of the fights when two things,
like whatever inputs you both put in, if they trigger the camera change.
Yeah. If they're going to be like close, like like okay, you both attacked at the same time. Let's see who actually hits first.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looks counter and Strive.
Yeah.
I remember that first test for Strive, and people hated that big counter thing.
Boom.
And the way the whole game and
Slow
originally
down.
the whole camera would turn, and that would mess a lot of folks up. It never bothered me. I loved it actually, but they eventually had to take that camera angle out because the whole game would slow down. The counter would
rotate.
come up, and the camera would rotate, and then it would go back to what you were doing.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
yeah, it was
in the
very
first beta,
early.
the very first one.
Oh. Yeah, I don't generally play betas.
Not for fighting games.
Especially for fighting games, I don't.
Yeah.
Because shit's going to change.
So I'm wondering if there's, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a build of the game right now where that stuff is in it and, gauging everybody's reaction. It's like, we might want to take it out because, again, Strive had it too. So
yeah.
At one point, and they took it out for the outcrying.
I honestly think that it would be cool, but I just know when it gets to competitive gaming that people get real finicky on anything that kind of disrupts the flow.
Yeah.
So, like, if you could just turn it off, I think it would be really cool. Like, I'm playing it just to, I'm playing it casually, so I won't mind seeing, like, zoomed in hits and stuff. Like, if we're all sitting around playing this and it does that whenever we get ready to land attacks near the same time, I'm all for it. But I know if we run a tournament for it, like, people will be like, hey, man, turn that off.
That's what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
Everything looked normal, and then all of a sudden,
Zoom in.
They both attack. Zoom in. He hits first.
Because I think it would be kind of funny. Like, if somebody, like, is in a match, like, say me and you are playing Nolan, and, like, every time it zooms in, I win. That would be funny, right? Like, if it zoomed in and you won, then I would tell you to turn it off. The game is cheating. There would be no other way.
Of course, yeah.
And also, then you think about online, right? Like, if they had that on and you're playing online, like, does that cause like any sort of frame loss or whatever, slow down or?
Well, so this game is like, I mean, besides, Street Fighter 6 is still going to be on PS4.
Yep.
So, but this
game,
they
say if it's cross-platform on there yet, though.
Well, this game they've made clear it is only going to be on next gen stuff.
Understandable.
So it's only PS5, it's only Xbox Series, and Steam.
Like, we're technically in year 3. Well, by the time this game comes out, we'll be in year 3 of the next gen.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
that's
used.
If it comes out next year,
and that's if it comes out next year. But let's say,
I'm pretty sure it's coming out next year.
Let's say
I expect it'll be out around April.
Holiday?
May. No,
you don't think so?
April, May.
Really? You think it's that far along?
No, I mean they've been working on that.
Working on it for a while.
I mean, it has been nearly 10 years since Tekken 7 came out.
When did 7 actually come out?
A long time ago.
Not the console version or the.
I mean, I know the arcade version was a couple of years before.
Oh, and they're saying this won't be in arcades.
No. There's no arcade machine that can run this. You see it?
Yeah.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
This thing would be on fire. It would be so expensive because of the hardware they'd have to put in it.
It's like a Naomi board.
No, it's not. No,
because you just switched those out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but no.
Something like a Naomi board 2, like they did the CPS 1 and CPS 2, like that. Because there was a big difference in those in the graphics in those games. See?
Well, I mean,
I get it.
Yeah.
Fun fact. So Tekken has the world record for longest continuity continuous story.
Really?
I feel like I heard that before. Yeah.
I believe it.
Out of any game franchise, it has the longest story.
Yeah,
because all of their games are consecutive. Like they don't go back in time. They don't do remakes.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat ruined that. They ruined themselves. They would have had it because they came out before it, but then they did Armageddon and had to.
Reshuffle everything.
Yeah, they had to reset, and they did a game with DC that doesn't count but does count sometimes.
Yeah.
So but that's cool that a fighting game has it because it's also because a lot of the mainline RPGs don't get sequels.
Well, then you have like Final Fantasy where each story is its own story.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get like most like RPG franchises, even though they have numbers, they don't have anything to do.
Own, like world.
Yeah.
Well,
every once in a while.
Suikoden's been in the same world, but in different time periods.
Yeah,
most of the time.
That doesn't count because it
one and
changes
two,
time.
and then 3 goes back into the past, and then
we're not really gonna count the rest of the other ones, are we?
Well,
yeah, you don't have to do it. There's a reason why 1 and 2 is getting remade,
and not anything else.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, also besides the fact that the first 2 are just pixel games that are much easier to redo.
Are they doing the HD 2D?
Nah, they do. It's cleaned up, but it's not quite that.
So they said they did improve the backgrounds and they cleaned up the sprites, but they didn't say they're doing HD sprites.
It's not like Octopath.
So they did something to the character sprites, but the backgrounds are HD now. They're saying
the enemies look better too. Like even though they are sprites, they look like much cleaner. But it's not a full. It's not like what is it? Live Alive, Live a Live,
Live
Live
Alive.
A Live.
Yeah, Live They Live. Yeah,
Live A Live.
It's Live Alive apparently.
Live A Live.
I've been calling that game Live Alive for years.
Yeah, I thought it was Live Alive because you live, different lives.
Well, when they finally showed it at that direct, and I was waiting for somebody to say the name. Oh, this is that game. Okay, what are they gonna call it? Live Alive? Okay, it's Live Alive.
Yeah, but that could have been their interpretation.
Yeah,
possibly.
That's like people saying different characters and names and stuff for Final Fantasy VII.
And things get messy in translation.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
Red XII. So it's up to your interpretation, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, I remember when Final Fantasy X came out. This mom came in and she brings it up to me just with this horrified look on her face. My son wanted this game, but I'm trying to. Is this a porno? I was like, what?
Maybe she got it confused with Dave Mirra BMX Triple X.
She looked at the title. That was way before that game came out.
Yeah, it was.
So she's looking at the title and it's like it says Final Fantasy X. I was like, that's a 10.
It's a Roman numeral.
Roman numeral. She's like, oh,
that's Alabama education for you right there.
She felt so stupid because I mean she was seriously concerned that her son was trying to trick her into buying him a porno.
A pornographic game.
It's like they don't make porn games. Well,
yet
they do. Don't go to Japan, but yeah.
Okay, again, there was BMX Triple X. There was a game. Yeah, sold a lot of copies of the game.
No. Okay.
You should be rewarded with, high class dance videos for doing a Superman seat grab. I don't know why it's such a crazy concept. I see you. I see. Did you do a Superman seat grab yet? No. All right, then. That's why you haven't got videos.
Exactly.
All right. So this next topic, Street Fighter 6, we're probably going to spend most of the time on this since we have the man here that taught Daigo how to play Street Fighter.
I mean,
facts don't matter. Okay.
Nah, we're gonna. I didn't care for 5 that much. I played a lot.
No, we bought vanilla. Like we bought it. We were trying, and I will maintain that opening amount of content they gave us, it just other things came out. It was so lacking after like trying to give it a chance that we just moved on to other stuff. And unfortunately for us, when we kind of move on from a fighting game, we just we sit it out until whatever other version comes out.
So when they announced 6, I wasn't so excited for it. And then Elite came out that El Forte was going to be it, and then I got super excited.
Yep.
But then another leak came out confirming that he wasn't in it, so I got let down.
Yeah.
But after watching a lot of this footage over the last couple months, I'm amped for I'm ready for Street Fighter 6.
Let's just give Capcom some congrats for actually doing well at pushing their game.
Well, they made an actual video game, not just a fighting game this time.
Exactly.
And It's going to draw in a lot more casual people, which is good for any game at all. But I think I said this over this last weekend because we had our big fighting game tournament, that I think Street Fighter 6 will do for what Street Fighter 6 will do for the fighting game community will be just as much, if not more, that Street Fighter 4 did for the fighting community.
Yes.
Fighting game community. God.
There's some words be hitting
Words,
you.
yeah. Kicking my ass today.
No, I really agree. I just, it feels, like I said, I tip my hat to Capcom for figuring out like what audiences want from them. Because I feel like a lot of companies try to figure out what they're like, well, okay, so what do gamers want? It's like, no. It's not that broad of a stroke. Like, you have to figure out what they want from you. And when you figure out what people want from you and your games, focus on that. Like, we want Street Fighter to be fast. We want it to be fun. But to your point about making a game and not a video game and not just a fighting game, people want things to do in your game. They want the ability to explore a world. Like, you're giving us all these characters that we've played with. Like, some of these characters, bro, I've been playing with these characters for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, what? Like, who are they? Like, I'm tired of trying to use like random OVAs and like other content outside of your game to figure out who all of these characters are.
Yeah.
Like, give us something that shows something from them. Like, Chun-Li was a police officer, and we didn't know that for real until a movie where Blanca tried to Vega tried to slice her up after she got out of the shower. Like, we want that. Street Fighter the movie is awful, but it's the only thing that we had to hold on to from Street Fighter content. So it was like automatically kind of given a pass. But like,
somehow Guile was an American.
Guile, first of all, Guile was American because he had American flag tattoo on his shoulders. Okay, he just happened to be portrayed by a dual citizen who's also known as the Muscles from Brussels. Okay, Juwanna Man was DJ. So
you're talking about like that one. I thought you were talking about the anime.
Well, I was talking about the anime about Vega,
anime.
but then he
You were
said,
talking about-
"Yeah,
I'm talking about the live action.
the movie is awful, but also like it's all we had." Like,
The guy that played M. Bison,
Raul Julia.
nailed it.
Raul Julia.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace to the guy,
He nailed it.
Gomez Adams. Yeah, like,
And also, I like Balrog too. I think he nailed it pretty well too. I like that guy.
just being a black dude with gloves somehow at the end of the movie. Why did he have boxing gloves on the covert mission?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he nailed it. He nailed the character.
Because at some point they had to remind you that he's a character in the game.
Well,
Yes.
I felt like DJ. The only thing I didn't like about that movie was the fact that DJ was a villain. I didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. But he had one of the best scenes at the end with the money, and he opens it up and it's all bison dollars. He's like, these are worthless. Yeah. And then Zangief had the greatest character arc by doing this, and then they turn it to that, and he's like, So, and then we all posed at the end. Huh. No, it wasn't. It was great.
That's
But
why
yes.
he got converted, didn't he?
Yeah, he got converted into a good guy, I guess, because he was only dumb. He wasn't actually a bad guy. But yeah, let's.
So we're gonna jump into the Street Fighter trailer that came out last week, right?
We'll watch this before I get started for the next hour.
You gonna turn up?
I'm trying to let y'all get everything y'all want.
Let's get our stuff in.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm happy with the characters. I'm happy with just the art direction. Like, Street Fighter V art direction wasn't bad, but it still felt like a downgrade from.
Skipping?
I don't know why we're skipping, but
Is this how the game's gonna be?
I mean, is it playing online? Because it might.
Waited 10 years for this.
Yeah. But I really appreciate what they're doing, like, visually. Like, Lucas from 5, but he looks like an improved.
Technically, he was always from 6. They pulled him into 5 because remember, season 5 wasn't supposed to exist.
COVID.
Season 5 wasn't supposed to exist.
No, you remember when they released Gil and
That was supposed to be the end.
That was supposed to be the end.
His
Because
bosses.
they released the other 2 bosses from the major games, and that was it. Every boss was finally in the game. You were done. And then they're like, "Hey, yeah, so we pretty much going to change every way that Street Fighter 6 is going to work. It's going to take us at least a year." And the new guys come in and we're like, "Well, shoot. So I guess we're going to have to add some more characters to the game. We'll go ahead and do a season 5. I mean, everybody seems to like the game now, so we'll go ahead and add some more, and we'll put this guy that we've been making for 6 and go ahead and put him in the game. So technically, he's like a guest character from 6 and 5, and that kind of works as his origin story.
So he's supposed to be like Alex of 6.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Like, I mean, clearly we're never going to try to do the thing that they did.
Oh, no.
With trying to make Alex a new main character. But, like, he's like, you know, this is the new game, and this is him being introduced into this new game.
Yeah, and the whole thing was he was supposed to introduce systems for this game. And the hint for him in 5 was how his V skills and his V bar worked. Because much like the drive gauge in this game, when he actually successfully hit his V skill, he would actually, like if he was in V trigger mode, if he actually hit every time he gets a hit or like a V skill hit or something like that, his bar, unlike everybody else, whenever you released it, would decrease whenever you did something. His would actually increase.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a hint at how the drive system in this game was going to work.
Yeah, and then like showing the system already and it already making sense, I think is like one of the things that with 5, there were so many things that were constantly being added because certain things didn't work the way they should have. Yeah, skipping whenever you do it that way.
Yeah, I don't know why it's skipping it.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's probably Capcom set.
Yeah, but I just feel like in this short amount of time, I've seen more from this game in the entire build up to 5.
God, that one scene right there.
The Dawson stuff, I'm totally out on. I don't like that kid. I've never liked Dawson in any Street Fighter game, but I feel like giving him more abilities is dumb. Why would you do that? Like he doesn't.
Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, actually. But yeah.
Well, look, he was kind of good in 4, and people were playing him, and he got annoying, and I didn't like that. So the fact that I didn't see a lot of Dawson play in 5 made me feel good. Like I don't want him to be good. I don't. It's like the Browns of Street Fighter. I don't ever want you to be good.
Browns. Oh, you mean the football team?
Yeah, sporting ball.
That could be taken way out of context because Dawson is he's brown.
He is brown.
I was like, wait a minute.
I would never
what are you talking about?
People based on color. So clearly, everybody that knows me, I'm not gonna dig the hole any further.
Yeah. Let's move on.
But like the Avatar stuff, man, is like those are things that I felt like a lot of these games have tried to do, but never really fully committed to. Like, oh yeah, you can customize these little aspects of a character, or like, you know, like Tekken did a pretty good job with some of the customization.
Yeah.
But like having like a personal representation of you, not just a banner and an icon, I always thought of like that was one of the things.
Newcomer.
Is that what it said?
No, the banner.
Yeah.
Like the banners would be like newcomer.
Yeah.
Just starting. Like,
go easy on me, bro.
Yeah.
This one has purple in the background of it. I won 5 matches. It's like, all right, man, look, that's not an expression of it as you think it is. Or like saying like, I play Ken all the time. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. So I think like doing like an actual avatar that you can customize and do stuff with. Not just like just giving you a visual one, but there's clearly stuff you're going to be doing as your avatar. Like even if it's just, you know, yoga teleporting around the city. Like that's fun enough.
Yeah.
Some sort of final fight mode in here. Like, you know me, beat 'em up stuff, man. I'm 100% in for that.
I mean, yeah, just all right, so anybody who's talked to me about Street Fighter since really 5 came out, you know, I've always had my issues with that game, but most folks would think, oh, well, you didn't like the way the fighting worked or the systems or whatever. No, I hated the fact that they didn't make a game.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as y'all know me, how many times have I said that?
Yeah.
Anybody who's watched any of my streams, anybody who's talked to me about it.
Oh, did you see that? Hold on. I hate to interrupt you, but this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me go back. Oh, too far. It's coming up. Did it just skip?
Wait.
Right here.
Are you talking about the luchador mask?
He has a luchador mask.
Yo, yeah.
I can make El Forte.
I mean, yeah, sure, but
yeah. It's possible.
Well, I feel like just that whole thing right there. Like El Forte's not in the game. But if you can make your avatar look like El Forte.
Yeah.
And like, what's to stop them from going, hey, why don't we just, maybe these characters don't exist in the game, but maybe in like the avatar mode, we can let you have El Forte's moveset.
Oh, yeah. I mean, clearly, even in 5 after a while, with the amount of stuff that they've put in there as far as costumes and stuff go, it kind of showed that they knew, hey, we really need to make a content-rich game, not just a vehicle to advance our eSports.
Yeah.
A game that, a game player wants to play, because not everybody's good at fighting games.
No, not at all.
There's folks who want so much to play this game, to play 5, for example.
Yes.
But, your only options, especially when the game first came out, your only option, if you didn't have anybody to play with, like on a couch, your only option was to play that game online. Because there was no single player content in that game.
It was
at all.
Like, that's what I'm saying about how disappointed I was at Vanilla 5. And we bought it. Like, we all got it. And I was like, I couldn't even find a character to play. I played Charlie because I don't have anybody to play. Like, I didn't, like Armika was cool, but like she's more of a joke character to me as far as like her not being in anything since Alpha 3 and all. I'm like, whatever. Like, people like her, but it's not my character.
What's funny about that is, remember, that was Jonathan's character in the
yeah.
start. And he doesn't normally play characters like that.
Like,
eventually he switched to
Karen, but yeah. But like, the fact is, like, it was like Birdie, like, I'm sorry, like Birdie, Karen, Armika, Charlie. Like, I was like, bro, what is this? What is this roster? Like, that roster was piss poor to start. And then
alpha characters.
You said what?
Bring it back to alpha characters.
Okay, bring them back with other people. Just because you bring them in don't mean you look how they doing the roster now. We get 18 people day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it was day one.
5 had 16.
It felt like they had 7 people. I felt like I had nobody to play with in that game. Like, it was annoying. But, like you said, they had no arcade mode. Like, for me, with a fighting game, even though I do plan on playing online and not just against my friends, I want to play through the arcade mode of a fighting game. It's like a tradition. Like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You pick a character. And it's also how I learn new characters. I don't just like go to training mode and then jump online with somebody. I want to go through arcade mode to like force me to react to different characters with the character I'm trying to learn. Mm-hmm. And not having that like in the beginning of the game, it just felt so weird. It felt like we bought a beta.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. I mean, again, anybody who talked to me back when it first came out, and I said it for years, it's like it almost felt like Capcom forgot how to make a game. They knew how to do the fighting part of the fighting game, but they forgot how to do the game part of the fighting game.
They couldn't do menus.
It's like, there's not even an arcade run in this, really? And they have the little story things
that they added later.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, you get 2, maybe 3 fights. One character had 1 fight. And it's like, I don't think you understand what it is that folks are wanting. Again, it's like you forgot how to make a game.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. After that first, like when they gave us the story mode and they gave it to us in the here you go, since y'all crying so much about it, I was like, oh, I'm out. Like you don't have to diss me. Like I don't have to. I'll just be out this run.
Well, I know a lot of it came from Capcom, itself, because you got to remember, Capcom didn't think it was going to do anything. You got to remember after 3 came out and basically destroyed the whole fighting game as a thing.
Well, I felt like 3 gets a lot of bad rep for the fact that like fighting games in general were going downhill. Like not because the quality of them were going down, but just the interest in fighting games.
Just the transition from arcade to home.
Yeah, like all of that. Like, the whole culture was changing.
It was a lot of stuff. Yeah,
but like they just be like 3 just killed everything. It's
but 3 did. I mean. It was all of that stuff too, but 3 was just a bad game. See, nobody liked it back then.
Yeah, I only played Second Impact and Third Strike.
See, exactly. Most folks played the good ones. I'm talking about when Vanilla 3 first came out in the arcades. Folks would go back and still play Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Capcom versus SNK 2, 1 actually, and everything else. I was the only person in the arcade who would go in and play it. And like nobody would play it with me because it's like, no, this game sucks. It's like it's only got Ryu and Ken from the old games. They got all these weirdos in here that nobody knew who they were. One guy that has electricity like Blanca and stretches like Dawson. Why didn't they just put Blanca and Dawson back in the game?
Now we kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
See,
you kill something, all right, but
hey, look, those are two characters that I personally don't have any affinity for.
me too.
So like being able to only use one slot on that, yeah, get it out the way.
But
That's
I mean, so anyway,
it was not well received. Like I kind of even
back
forget
to my point though, because that was like a huge loss for Capcom.
Yeah.
And for them, once they got Street Fighter 3 out the way, they're like, what? Obviously, fighting games are over. We aren't doing it anymore. And for 10 years, that was the whole thing until Ono shows up and says, "Hey, I want to bring this back." And Capcom was like, "Are you crazy? Nobody plays fighting games anymore." And
I mean, to his point, nobody was playing fighting
nobody
games.
was playing fighting games.
We're playing Smash Brothers Melee.
You had other fighting games out there. You had NRS with the MK series, of course, and then you had like the smaller anime games that for some reason in everybody's heads were always selling all these copies and stuff. It's like Guilty Gear would sell like 25 grand, like 25,000 copies, like at the most.
Yeah, no, they weren't big sellers.
Yeah,
Blaze Blue actually kind of took over for them. That's why you got like 7 Blaze Blue games.
Right.
That was like Guilty Gear. They stopped making them for a minute because Blaze Blue was like, well, these are actually selling a little bit better.
Well, yeah, it was kind of the move over to it, but it's like, but even those games, I think he hit that Maximilian thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Whoops.
But
I was like, this isn't part of the trailer.
Yeah, even those games, would maybe sell 100K, like max, and that was like great. They were happy to have that, but you're not selling 10 million, 12 million copies like the old Street Fighter games.
Or like Capcom, they had Resident Evil.
And well, yeah, and obviously they had moved on to other stuff.
Yeah,
but so Ono shows up. He's like, "I want to do Street Fighter 4." They give him like the bare minimum to try to make this game because they have no interest in doing fighting games anymore. But they're like, you know what? Fine. If you can make it work, make it work. But this is all you're getting. 4 comes out, brings everybody back in the fighting games again.
yeah.
All Capcom saw was an opportunity that's like, well, the eSports is where the money is because that's where we're getting all the the ad stuff and that's what's bringing everybody to Capcom to play other Capcom games. So for them, when 5 was coming out, that was just a way to expand their esports line more than anything else. So again, they gave them the bare minimum to hurry up and just make a game. They make a game, then a year before it comes out, they have to scrap that game and start all the way from brand new. Meanwhile, Sony comes up, is like, here's the money to make this game, but I need it out by this date, and they had to make a choice. Do we make a game, or do we just make something that we can hurry up and just put the online mode in it, and so we can put it out there because Sony gave us all this money. We have to release it now, and to me, I always thought they made the wrong choice.
Well, I knew they were banking on, like you could just tell from the way that some of the content was released, they were banking on the ability to go back and add stuff to it. Like that's the one thing that they did was they made it buildable. Like they could build upon it.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but like we also took such a hit up front. Like
exactly.
Consumer wise, it's like I don't want to like if Street Fighter 5 came out and it was season 2 Street Fighter 5.
No. Even season 2, everybody hated.
It was still bad.
Yeah,
was the championship edition when it's okay?
That's when it started turning around.
Okay,
so arcade edition.
There
actually.
we go. So if we could get like that version to start, then maybe it wouldn't be as bad.
Had we got all that at start, it wouldn't have been as bad. But the game sold horrible. It was terrible word of mouth. It was bad sales. It was still doing good at esports. So that's all Capcom really kind of cared about. But you also got to remember at the time when Street Fighter 5 came out, this was Capcom that was almost bankrupt too.
Yeah, which is why
they were really only interested in getting in money. They still didn't really believe in fighting games and all of that stuff. So they weren't going to put a lot behind it. They were just hoping to get something in return too.
Well, see, like, and that's a kind of a scary concept to me to be like, we don't believe in fighting games. It's like, I don't need you to believe in fighting games. I need you to believe that if you make a game and you do it well, then it'll be good and people will buy it. Well, like, again, do that.
Yeah, because that's what killed fighting games at all when Street Fighter 3 came out. Because it wasn't just that Street Fighter 3 itself killed it. It was like a gradual thing because everybody else is like, you got the autoplay on. Oh, you got the autoplay on. That's what's going on. Probably.
Yeah.
But because when Street Fighter 2 came out, it's like you look at how many fighting games came out between 1992 and 1994. It's probably about 100 of them.
Yes.
Because everybody was making fighting games back then. If Capcom, the company that basically created fighting games, can't sell Street Fighter, then if I'm SNK, if I'm what are some of the other companies?
See if they got a playlist for it.
Data East, all these other companies.
Fighting History
that were
legendary game.
But if I'm one of these other smaller companies that's making a fighting game and Capcom can't sell a Street Fighter, then what the hell am I going to do? Oh, I'm not making fighting games anymore either. Obviously, it's done, and it was. So, but
I mean, SNK kept pumping stuff out for better or for worse.
But thankfully, Street Fighter V was able to turn around, and now we're at a time where Capcom is a completely different company. They're not on the ropes anymore. Now they're flying high.
It was their own fault.
I think we talked about
some of that trash that they were putting out was their own damn fault.
Well, I mean,
every game looked the same. There was like a 10-year period where every game looked the same.
Well, it's because they're using the same engine for every game.
Yeah,
right. And everything looked dated.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
After like the first 2 years of using the engine, everything looked dated.
Like to me, honestly, by the time they got to like Resident Evil 6 and stuff, it was like, so.
Oh yeah.
Is this it? Like, is y'all just settled in with this?
That was pretty much all they could do. They couldn't afford to do anything else. That was the problem.
Y'all kept buying Resident Evil games after 5. And
so how did they do 7 then? Because that couldn't have been cheap.
They finally just
to the red.
Monster Hunter.
That's the saving thing for them.
Monster Hunter is really what kept them afloat all of those years. And so what? Monster Hunter World comes out, or it's getting ready to come out, because there's other stuff too. But they had the
handheld, the 3DS Monster Hunter was the one that was really like keeping them before they did World.
Mm-hmm. I think there was a PSP game too, but
probably.
I mean, there were a bunch of Monster Hunters. Like even the Wii game did really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like a change at the.
So I kind of like that mode.
Oh, this extreme mode.
Yeah, where it's like ticking down and
yeah. What is going on here?
It's shocking them,
They
basically took all those weird towers from Mortal Kombat and was like, here you go, put it in Street Fighter.
Yeah, extreme mode is weird. I don't think I'll ever touch it, honestly.
I'll do it for funny.
I probably won't either, but the fact that it's there is what's so great.
Yeah.
The fact that they thought hey, let's put some other just weird fun stuff in it. Everything doesn't have to be serious.
No, and it doesn't have to be for everybody.
Yeah.
It seems like they got like dramatic battle in there too, where you saw like the 2v1 stuff. Like that's what, like, first of all, when you say World Tour mode, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Sakio Dojo Edition.
Well, yeah.
Like, you can't say World Tour to me with a Street Fighter game and it not be at least more in depth than that mode. So we're getting something that seems to be more in depth than that mode. So I'm already in.
Well, obviously that's what they were kind of trying to invoke in folks.
The Metro City backdrop I really appreciate as like a fan of.
That's where it starts. Yeah.
Yeah, like because Final Fight. It's not even like my favorite beat 'em up, but I always felt like Capcom never. They got something with Final Fight 1 and was just coasting off that. And like you got to like Final Fight 3 and it's like, all right, we're pretty much done with beat 'em ups. Everybody's done with them. And again, it's the same concept that I have with like these different companies where it's like these games aren't, it's not because the genre is necessarily dead. If you make the games good enough, like they made the Final Fight Streetwise game and I was like, what about this said it was going to be good? At what point were you developing this game and you were like, this is going to be good?
That was still at the point where Capcom was trying new stuff, but that was like the end of it.
But they were trying new bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
which is exactly why that was the end of it.
But then they use that and be like, hey man, beat 'em ups are dead. Remember we came out with Final Fight Streetwise? It's like, no, that was a bad game.
That was a bad game, exactly.
That doesn't mean beat 'em ups are dead. It means it's a bad game. But since we get Metro City stuff in Street Fighter 6, I will take it, right? As a way to just get more connected to other Capcom properties. Because Capcom's got a deep library of like stuff they can pull from if they want to put stuff in Street Fighter or just make games with. Like they constantly do all these arcade collections, right? And it's like, well, you got all this stuff, like do something with it. Stop selling Saturday Night Slam Masters for 4 times already. Like give me another one, or put that in something new, something like I can enjoy that isn't a rehash of what I've already played.
Well, I mean, with the Battle Hub in this game, you might be playing it in there anyway.
I'm going to play it in there. Okay, I'm going to play a lot of it. I'm going to send you guys invites, and you're going to walk past the arcade machine.
It'll just be you sitting at the machine.
Who wants it? Stingray's ready to play.
But just the fact that when stuff changed inside of Capcom, we got new guys in charge of Street Fighter. We got new guys. When they said the guy that was making the Monster Hunter games was kind of over the division of Capcom that would be like doing fighting games and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm excited because that guy knows how to make a game.
Yes.
And I knew that the next fighting game that was going to come out of him, which was obviously going to be Street Fighter 6, because this is after the MVCI debacle.
Yeah.
I had a feeling he was going to make the changes necessary. He got the two guys that's in charge of it now to run the game, who are obviously, again, not just big Street Fighter fans, but big, gaming fans.
Yes.
In general. And they knew what they wanted in a new fighting game, in a modern fighting game. And this is what we got out of it. Those two things were the biggest changes that made me feel better about a Street Fighter 6. Like maybe Capcom would actually try again. Because you go back and just presentation-wise, you go back and look at, Street Fighter Alpha 3, all of the Dreamcast games, and stuff like that. And like whenever I would play the old Dreamcast games on my stream, and I would always say, this is back when Capcom cared.
Yeah,
and that's what I meant. They were still caring about making a good game that happened to be a fighting game.
Yes, that was always the thing. Is like the Capcom brand became like, at one point it was, you trusted in the sense of, if their name's on it, if nothing else, it's going to be a solid experience.
The SNES through the PS2 era of Capcom was just like whatever they were on, I was going to play it.
Well, shoot, we even played like Lost Planet 2 and stuff like that. Like, even those games, it was like, okay, no, they can still put out a game whenever they put their name on it. And I know, like,
I'm still waiting for a sequel, even though we'll never get it.
Inafune was a part of that. Let it go. They buried it. He left, and all his properties go away.
Yeah,
or at least. They try to make, well, I don't know, because Mega Man started getting stuff again, so maybe, just maybe.
I'm not holding my breath.
There you go.
There is a near completed code of Legends 3 sitting in that office that all they need to do is clean it up and put it on the Switch. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, you guys didn't sign up for the 3DS online community program to interact with Mega Man Legends 3.
I pre-ordered the game.
But we wanted you to go through
my 3DS on the Nintendo store with the demo. So the day that demo was going to come out, I was going to download it.
But did you access the Capcom community site?
Actually, you forced me to when I bought MVC3.
But did you go back for the Mega Man Legends 3 stuff?
No.
Okay, so that's why we canceled the game.
I still want to play it.
Yeah. But you should have interacted on the message boards more. So we can't do it. All right, let me ask you these questions, both of y'all. What is something you've seen gameplay wise that you really like, and what is something that we haven't seen but you're hoping that's like in the game we're looking for? Let that part go, bud. Okay, you will get the luchador mask. You know. So that's it.
I know, I'm over it.
You have your mask, but
maybe DLC, but doubtful.
That would be some great DLC though.
For me, the thing I like the most is pretty much everything I said. That it looks like they made a game.
Yeah.
I'm not even concerned about the fighting part. We know they know how to make a fighting game. I was worried if they knew how to make a game that would attract new players to it, not just folks who had been playing Street Fighter since 1992 when the game came out, like me. Joe Blow walking down the street who just wants to pick the karate guy from that fighting game when the game comes out, who, again, doesn't care about going online and playing in, eSports and stuff like that. He just wants to chuck a couple of fireballs and have fun.
Yeah.
And again, Street Fighter V, when it came out, was not that. But this one, he can, go into extreme battle. He can go into the battle hub and play other crap. He can go back and play Street Fighter 2 in there.
Oh, that's definitely going to be there.
Oh, no, they've already said so. If you go to the Street Fighter 6 website, they now flesh out everything about World Tour Mode and the Battle Hub.
Wait, you
And
can
how
play
all
like
that
old Capcom
Yeah.
games in the arcade?
Yeah, the only two that they've confirmed
Final
is,
Fight, Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. But if you look at the screenshots, you see Sun, you see Vulgus, you see something else.
Saturday Night
So,
Slam Masters.
No,
You don't see it, but it's
didn't
there.
see that.
It's
but-
there.
but
Don't worry.
I mean, it's probably going to be there.
Can I play Lost Planet?
No, it looks like older 2D games. Games that are probably
Like before
a
2000?
couple of megs that are easy to put on it.
Yeah.
If
Makes
even
sense.
that.
The game. Would you say Sun? What is that? That's how many kilobytes is that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's that CPS one. Anything CPS one architecture is definitely going to be easily
Exactly.
uploaded.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of CPS one games on there.
Which again, like you could advertise for those arcade collections that they're trying to sell all the time.
Yeah, I think we talked about that the other day. It's like so they just going to basically throw all those games on there, or you think they're going to rotate them out? Because I'm thinking that is a perfect advertisement for those arcade cabinet games.
I think the rotation thing would be the smartest.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't be surprised if you had things that stuck like Street Fighter 2 and Final Fight.
Yeah.
Like if those are always just there because
And
of the
that would-
setting.
Yeah, and that would make sense so that folks who has no idea who any of the Final Fight characters when they show up, because they're going to be in the game eventually.
I don't. You know what? The only way I want to see a Final Fight pack is if they put Dean in it. Okay, you put Lucia in there. Okay, you put
Lucia in there.
So if you put her in there, okay, and yes, she was definitely way more popular and well known than Dean. But like Dean's like Cody, but since Cody's in jail,
Yeah.
he's Cody with a high top and like electric powers.
I mean, it's possible.
All right, because we're not getting Hagar for whatever reason. Like
Well, at this point, he's old. He's
stories
like
don't
80
matter.
years
It's a
old.
made up thing. Okay, maybe he took like
He's old.
Well, this
He's
takes
digital.
This takes place. Oh,
He's made up of fucking pixels.
oh my God! You know what I mean?
Put some salt and pepper in his hair and call it a day. He's coming out for one more run. Okay,
That would be cool.
yeah, just
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be upset by it.
yeah. I like.
That would be cool,
I've
but
never
it'd be interesting
understood.
to see an old.
I've never understood how they just acted like if they had Zangief in the game, even though it's Capcom stuff, they can't put Hagar in it. They put Hagar in it, like Marvel vs. Capcom. All of a sudden, you can't put Zangief in it because they already got Hagar, and he does the lariat too. It's like, no, that's not the only move that they do.
Well, Zangief
Yeah, it
got
is.
all his moves from him, but he improved the pile driver by making it spin. That's his story.
I know that's the story, which is why Hagar could come back and be like, you don't need to spin, okay? That's why I never put the spin on there. You're getting fancy with it. Let me take you back to the essence. Also, I got a big pipe, okay?
This is true.
And I want you to think about why I say that, what I mean when I say that. It's the reason why
lace
he has to
some
wear. It's the reason why he has to wear overalls and then he can wear drawers. Okay? Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I'm just happy with the presentation of the game.
To me, the fighting looks like the combat. To me,
I mean, yeah, the
it
combat
looks
good.
better than 5. Like it seems to be. It looks like I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. For me, this is good because I just want people to be able to I want people to be able to look good in the fighting game, even if they're not the best of players. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be able to execute some high level stuff, but like people being able to pull off some combos when they're not that good at the game, even if it's just button mashing, like.
Oh well, yeah.
Let 'em do it
with the new control scheme and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you should be able to do things that look cool starting off, and then if you want to get better at the game, go to training and like actually figure out what you're doing. But
Yeah.
if I know bases of Street Fighter, right? I know the Hadouken motions, the Shoryuken motion, Tatsu's, Zangief stuff. Like, I should be able to go in and do something that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like 5, like even when I was playing it and I was getting better at it, I was like, man, it just feels so technical compared to 4.
Yeah.
Like it just the learning curve and the barrier of like feeling confident in the game was so much higher than 4. Because that's what then that 4 did was like, hey man, you've played Street Fighter before. Get 4,
Yeah,
you're gonna know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you ever played 2, you can walk right into 4 and be just as good at it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did. I never really learned how to FADC and all of that stuff. I just played Street Fighter 2 my entire time through 4, and I did just fine.
I was like, hey,
I
look,
didn't know what an FADC was.
bro.
Exactly. And you didn't really have to unless you met other folks who did, and you might go, oh, so I see. So if you do that, it absorbs an attack, and then you can actually counterattack. And okay, so that's cool. I might want to try to learn that, but
I won't.
Like honestly,
but
I'm just gonna run at
also
you.
Didn't really have to.
yeah. Well,
I'm just gonna run at you, and you're gonna have to guess what I'm about to do because I'm either gonna go high or I'm gonna go low.
good luck. Well, no, and
Quesadilla bomb.
But that was quesadilla bomb. That was the fun part about it, was like just jumping in and being like, okay, like remember when Super came out? Because in the Vanilla 4, you had to unlock like half the roster, but in Super, all the people were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So you jump in and you're like, oh, this player, like when they announced DJ for Super, I'm like, I played DJ, and like HD Remix was my main. So when they put him in Super, I'm like, okay, well, let me see how close he is to that. Oh, he's pretty similar. Okay, he just has like Street Fighter 4 stuff added to him.
Yeah.
Great. I felt like if they would have put DJ in 5, he wouldn't have even been a charge character. He would have been.
He would have been something.
He would have been something way different. Like, so he primarily uses like, you gotta use like fierce punch to go into this mode to do these moves, and then fierce kick. Like, dope, bro. What? He does capoeira stances now. So like, if he's doing this bob, these moves you got unlocked, and then when he's doing the bank head bounce version, you got these moves. Like, bro, I'm not doing this.
Well, 6 is kind of doing that with some characters.
Nah, DJ better just max out. And
Chun-Li has different stances, right?
Chun-Li has different stances. E Honda has a run. Has like everybody calls it a run because that's kind of the archetype,
like the El Forte stuff.
It's kind of the walk.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a sumo walk kind of thing where he can do different moves. If you look at the video when he does the 3 hard slaps and then the shoulder charge into the knock up in the air, those are done out of his walking stance.
Gotcha.
Thing. So, but no, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about. And I guess one more thing. I like. Oh dang, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, sorry. It'll come back to me at some point, I'm sure. But
please interrupt whoever's talking. Like as soon as it hits you, just jump in. But yeah, I just think that like we talk about getting more people to be excited for it, like the little dumb stuff with the faces, like
yeah,
that it doesn't do anything.
And you know where most of that stuff came from?
Is that Soul Calibur, right?
Well, from them having an extra year to work on the game.
Yeah,
because all of that stuff, I'm sure was some of the first stuff they got done. You know, the UI, the versus screen, the music, all of that stuff is the easier stuff.
Like the direction of the art and all that. Yeah.
When they decided to change the fight system and they were given like a whole extra year to make the game, well, those guys are already done with their stuff. So what are we going to do for the next year? Well, let's just add some really cool stuff to it. Well, why don't we have it to where you can play with their faces and the versus
Gives them
screen.
more character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the game, you know what this is? This game has so much personality.
Yes.
And 5, for the longest, like until like Championship Edition, it was like, what are you?
Yeah.
You're just like this soulless husk of Street Fighter stuff.
And imagine the personality thing. Yeah, it took 5 a long time to kind of find it and give it to the characters as the DLC rolled out. This game has so much of it from the get-go. Imagine the DLC characters 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now I can clearly, like, sometimes I get upset with game makers when I feel like you planned all this DLC instead of putting it into the game. Well, with this game, I feel like I'm excited for what they can do with the game long term, because it's going. I mean, it's the standard now for fighting games that have like 2-3 years worth of content.
Well, yeah.
So
assuming it sells well, yeah.
Well, that part, but like what I'm already seeing from this game makes me excited to see what they could potentially add to the game, versus me being like, well, ain't no point in me playing it right now. It's so bare bones that I might as well just wait until they come out with the arcade edition or whatever it may be, or wait till at least season 2 to start trying to really play it. I want to be in on the ground floor with this game. Like this feels like everybody wants to be in on the ground floor. This
feels like a complete game.
Yeah.
That they're going to add more stuff to it. It doesn't feel like an incomplete test version of a game that you're going to have to wait 3 or 4 years to finally get what feels like an actual game.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the actual game up front, like an actual finished game.
And even like the new characters, like I know we've only really gotten a chance to see Kimberly and Luke and Jaime. Is it Jaime or is it Jamie?
Jamie.
Are we just doing Jamie now? Jamie. That's weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is he? He looks like he's like The Rock. What is he? But no, I feel like the new characters, they don't feel like my only issue ever with 4, and I understand that 4 was trying to have fun with some characters, but like I will never accept Rufus. Like Hakan, I was like,
especially when you see what he was originally supposed to be.
Oh yeah, don't let me get started on that. Yeah. But like the new characters, I'm way more like the people who are like Kimberly is is the jump in. Go ahead. I'm not gonna forget mine. I'm not old.
Okay, so yeah, the other thing is that I'm most excited about just seeing the game from the first time to now is that Capcom has obviously learned. They've learned from their past mistakes, and they're not going to make those again. They looked at Street Fighter 3 and they looked at Street Fighter 5, and everything that went wrong with those two games are fixed in this one.
Which is?
The original 8 are in the game.
Smart. Yeah, smart. Yeah.
They are not doing a game where it's almost all, because if you recall, the initial launch of Street Fighter 3 didn't have Ryu and Ken in it.
No?
No.
Oh, they were getting rid of everybody.
All new characters.
That sounds like
and people would step up to play that game and go, the hell is this? This isn't Street Fighter. Where's Ryu? Where's Guile? Where's Chun-Li? Where's anybody that I know?
If you take Ryu and Ken off that roster, it looks like an SNK roster only.
So the folks who walked up to it when the version that most folks know came out and, you know, it had Ryu and Ken and all these other weirdos in it. Imagine if you walked up and just the weirdos in there. It's like, who's this blue guy? Why is he sticking out his tongue like that? This game is dumb. This isn't Street Fighter.
Remy's cool, though. I like Remy. You should do more Remy stuff.
Well, he wasn't in the original Street Fighter. Again, I'm referring to...
Is he only in Double Impact? And
he's only in Third Strike.
He's only in Third Strike?
When most folks talk about Street Fighter 3, they're referring to Third Strike. Yeah, I'm referring to Street Fighter 3, the game that ruined everything. Everybody else is talking about the one good game in the series. I'm talking about Street Fighter 3.
Oh, I will say one thing that I personally will not be partaking in is the commentary. Like, nothing against it. I hope that like some people that were in the
whenever I'm here, since I can never get anybody to commentate my stuff, and the folks that do were questionable. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll tighten it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, let's go ahead and turn that on.
Yeah, definitely need it for that.
but yeah. So they learned from 3, and kind of with 5 too. With just the roster of the game. We're not going to play around. We're putting the original 8 in here. So that, again, if you're a new player who probably played Street Fighter 2, because back in the day, everybody played that game. It's just one of those games that's just, it's an iconic game.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat.
I can show somebody a picture of Ryu and a picture of Soul. I show them a picture of Soul, they're going to go, I don't know, some anime guy, I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally what it is.
At the least, if I show somebody a picture of
Street Fighter
Ryu, they're going to go, oh, that's the guy in that fighting game, right? That Street Fighter game.
Or
he like throws like fireballs or something. Yeah. They may not know his name, but they know who he is. That's how big Street Fighter is, right?
They'll say Ryu.
Sure, if they even know his name. But the point is, put recognizable characters in there that everybody knows.
Yes.
So the original 8 already in there from the jump, and then again, make it a fully fleshed out game, a fully featured game, unlike 5 was when it came out.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree.
So that's one of the things I'm just
look, it's Jaime.
Excited about that. Capcom, they obviously put a lot of thought into this game, and they looked back specifically at the 2 times where Street Fighter failed, 3 and 5, and everything that those games did wrong, they fixed it from the jump. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
What was the original question?
Things that we were looking forward to.
Happy about and looking forward
to. I think the cast seems very dynamic. They've already announced all 18 characters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think obviously the original 8 had to be in there, especially after 5. And
3.
Nobody cares about 3.
I'm old.
Yeah, Third Strike is the only one that counts.
I still live in the past.
But I think bringing Jury in was very smart for them, because for whatever reason, that has to be one of the most.
She's going to be a
beloved characters.
She's going to be much like Cammy after Super Street Fighter 2. She's just a character that's always going to be there from now on. Yeah,
because she wasn't in 5 until.
Well, yeah, she was eventually DLC.
Yeah.
And I felt like she was one of the good parts of the new stuff in 4. Like, obviously, El Forte was great in 4. But Jury, we could tell El Forte was like not gonna make it after
just because he's such a unique type of character.
Yeah,
but his moveset is super weird.
It is. It's great when we say weird. But yeah, Jury just seemed to kind of like, out of all the new characters, she kind of stuck out more.
Well, yeah, and plus she's also the only Korean character they've ever had, and the only Taekwondo
character
they've ever had. So she's kind of the archetype of her own self. So that's why she kind of has.
And then something I'm looking forward to as far as like DLC goes. Of course, I want El Forte. I don't think he'll make it though, unfortunately.
You'll get his mask on your avatar.
Yeah, but his like the
chef
actual
outfit.
character is just his moveset's so weird that.
Well, again, like
He's kind of like a Third Strike character. Like they probably won't put a whole lot of Third Strike characters in, except for the ones they have already had, like Makoto and the Gang.
And Alex.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of weird, but I also kind of understand too. It's like even though this is a sequel to 3, there are no Street Fighter 3 characters in the game like at all. Like
I'm hoping to
one.
I'm hoping to see them in the
We might get a whole.
like
we might get a whole DLC season of Street Fighter Third Strike.
I feel like the DLC as it comes out for this game is going to be themed.
Yeah,
You think like each season will be so we get a Third Strike season?
We get a
So we get
Strike
Remy,
season.
Dudley, Q. I'm just picking people that I want. I don't care which
Well,
one.
the person I'm actually looking forward to outside of El Forte is I hope they put Fei Long in at
Oh,
some point.
Oh yeah, Fei Long would be good. Fei Long and T-Hawk would be the only other Street Fighter 2 characters.
No, I don't want T-Hawk just because
Oh, no,
then
I
I have
want
to.
T-Hawk.
I don't because then I have to hear it from Steven.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
The Native American representation.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's
Well, then there'll be 2. Even though the girl kind of her artwork in the World Tour intro things, it looks like she's doing a condor dive. So
it does. Well,
and I always felt bad.
And that might
thinking,
mean we won't get T-Hawk.
Yeah,
I
true.
don't know, but I always felt bad thinking it's like the second I saw her picture, I was like, oh, she must be like T-Hawk's sister or something like that. And I was like, is that bad? That I think
No.
the only other
no, because Capcom
Native
has literally not
American
done any
character?
other Mexico anything.
yeah.
So it's like El Forte, who was not related to T-Hawk.
No, because T-Hawk is more like what
Aztec.
Is it Aztec or Mayan?
I'm not sure. I remember hearing though that folks are upset at the way that his like dress and everything isn't any kind of Mexican tribe. It's more of a
Native American.
yeah.
It
like
was.
northern Native American type tribe.
He had on blue
probably-
jeans.
So
Northern Mexican.
well,
No, he had like a
but
Canadian
they,
tuxedo on.
They
It's all jeans.
they've had the same issue with the girl now.
Lily?
Like yeah, it's like well you say she's from Mexico, but they wouldn't have worn stuff like that. So.
But El Forte is more traditional Mexican.
But he was just
He's just luchador. He's pure-
luchador, exactly.
And he was in the kitchen whipping. He was a chef. He was a
But
good
no,
chef.
yeah, I think El Forte would be my most sought after character outside of El Forte, who I don't think is going to make it.
Yeah. Now Fei Long is always a good character. I always just thought he was just, to me, my favorites from the Super cast editions was always Fei Long and DJ. But I always knew Cammy was like as soon as Super came out, it was like, oh no, people really like Cammy.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't.
She's easy to use, I think.
She was
She's
very
very straightforward.
Relatively simple. She's really strong.
You ever say great kid, right? Like
yeah, her simplicity makes her kind of strong because she has.
Which is crazy because Jury's a little bit different. Jury's not very straightforward.
well, I think this version is supposed to be easier.
well,
is it?
yeah. So she looks like her more Street Fighter V version, which people didn't really care for because in 4 it felt like she could do more. She still has to charge her her moves. I think that has more to do with the story where she has a different eye now, and that's why it's not as powerful as the original eye that she got from SIN. But either way, but now you don't charge a specific move. You can charge up to 3 stocks, and you can do whatever skill you want out of those stocks now. So now you don't have to do a kick, have to do a projectile, have to do whatever the other
mix-ups is much more.
Yeah, it's your choice now. I can do 3 projectiles. I can do 3 of the kick things or whatever. So that's kind of I think a good compromise where she still works a little bit more like she did in 5, but you give it a little more freedom to choose what you want to do with her stocks.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I know you probably have a lot more to talk about when you start winding this down.
Okay, well, I mean,
Nah, fuck you.
okay.
Nah, no, you have one more thing to say about it? Go for it.
Oh, well, I was just want to talk about like the actual. I could talk about the actual systems in the game and everything.
Well, we can leave that for next week.
Well, what I think we
'cause
should
we're
do,
running out of time.
Okay.
I think we should save that until when I get into the beta and he doesn't, and then I can tell y'all about the systems because I got it. Because I'm putting it into the air because if that happens, you know how funny that will be, Nolan.
Yeah.
We can talk about the systems
getting into
next
Capcom
week
Creators Program.
because also next week we're probably going to talk a lot about Modern Warfare since the beta is this weekend.
Yes.
I don't know how much time we'll actually have to play it since we have a con and doing a bunch of other things.
Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll try to sneak it in Friday.
Yeah. So next week we'll probably talk a lot about Modern Warfare. We'll touch up a little bit on Street Fighter because no one's gonna have to get his Street Fighter fix in.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll reserve a certain amount of time per episode for Nolan to pontificate about Street Fighter. The virtues of that game, and then
I want you to go back to other videos, and I want you to
there we go.
Pause it, and I can say, so see here on frame 4, yeah,
I'm out. I'm gonna get up and walk away.
But so before we end though, we like to do a couple little things. What are you playing right now?
What am I playing?
Yeah,
So I hadn't really had time to play anything until recently.
All right, while the old man tries to figure out what he's been playing, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of stuff because I had to play stuff to record for 365 Days of Gaming. Check that out on YouTube.
What are you playing outside of that?
You know what? I just finished something recently too. I can't remember.
Y'all both old.
I've been playing I've been going back. Listen, I've been going back and playing stuff as we get ready for like Modern Warfare and the cascade of games coming out. So like. I finished Scarlet Nexus. I've been playing like Civilization 6 and just, I've just been touching stuff. And then whatever like Game Pass comes out with, I'll try it out to see how it is, just to see what's going on. But yeah, I kind of just been in a holding pattern, and also been trying to sleep more, so I don't be playing a lot when I leave here.
Yeah.
Jack, you've been doing Project Zomboid.
Yeah, I've been dolphin diving Project Zomboid. I probably put 100 hours in the last 2 weeks. Also playing 2K.
Yeah. How's that been going? How you like the new 2K?
I like it. It's very similar to last year's.
I feel it's a little cleaner.
It's cleaner, yeah. The story is so this year probably the most I've done outside of basketball story part. I actually did some of the side stuff. Just because, I think they did a smart move because I think a lot of people aren't doing any of the side stuff, which I get. Like, you would just want to play basketball.
I do.
But they've hidden stuff behind some of the side quests. So, like, in previous games, eventually, like, after, like, 20 so games and you've built up rep, you can choose your starting uniforms. Well, now they've hidden it behind a side quest.
So you just do the side quest and then you get to choose.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat, though.
So you can actually unlock it faster this way.
I like that.
But it also makes you explore the city a little bit, which I never did. Fucking hated that shit. Just want to play basketball.
Well, it's because I feel like this one is better at like not being as congested. Because I did some stuff on there too, and with like the fast travel points and all of that.
Yeah, they finally have like a subway system.
Didn't make any sense. You got to go literally the other side of the map, and you had to literally just walk or like scooter or skateboard
or buy a go kart with real money.
Vince Carter coins.
But yeah, so I've been having fun with it. Did you figure out what you've been playing? Nothing? Just taxes?
Yeah, but see, the last game I finished was Mighty Goose.
Yeah?
Mighty Goose.
I found out it was about to leave Game Pass. I was like, oh, crap, I got to go back and finish that game. So I just spent a whole afternoon just playing it.
The hell is Mighty Goose?
It was like a side-scrolling shooter game.
Oh.
You're like a goose in the tank?
Like a Contra?
And you can like jump in. It's a lot like a Metal Slug, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's actually really fun, and it's
pick up and play.
And stupid, and it's kind of hard too. But I'll say I finished Mighty Goose. I got back into KOF 15 when I started coming back to weeklies here. So
Sundays at 3.
Sundays at 3. Me and Brandon started playing KOF 15, so that got me back into that game. But otherwise, I hadn't really. I play like that wrestling game you were playing.
Oh yeah, Wrestling Empire.
Yeah,
shout out to M. Dickey.
Usually, like sometime midday, I can only jump into a game that I know that I can like pause or quit out of if the phone rings and I got to get back to work.
Yeah, we know that feeling.
Yeah, so
why you playing 2K?
So I've been playing Wrestling Empire, Mighty Goose until I finished it, and then oh dang it, there's something else. Pac-Man.
Let's just say Pac-Man. The Pac-Man remake is not out yet, right? The Pac-Man World.
Yeah, I think it came out like last week or week before last.
Really?
It just came out.
I want to check that out again. I played that game back in the day. I didn't own it, but I remember playing it and being like, "This is actually really, really solid." like, because this is during the days of like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and all of that. And I was like, oh, this can actually compete with them. But then, it kind of just faded away.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Very cool.
Kind of looking forward to.
Well, cool deal. I think that's going to wrap up this week. We should be getting these out every week now, hopefully.
No, we're going to do it. We're going to be consistent.
Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week. Peace.